Hi again, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode, I'm looking at the traditional 9 to 5 jobs, which we all do. It's been on for centuries. Forefathers, grandparents, parents, and all they did the traditional 9 to 5 job. Right. Well, I will be looking at why most people are actually stuck in why most people get stuck in the traditional 9 to 5 job, and also look at the possibility of actually building wealth from the traditional 9 to 5 job. You understand? A couple of questions people do ask is it actually possible to create wealth, to build wealth from your traditional 9 to 5 job? The answer to that question is yes. It is possible, it is doable, but it takes discipline, it takes a lot of discipline. Again, you have to be strategic in your approaches. Again, you have, apart from the aside the discipline, aside being strategic, you have to have the vision. You understand? Like the Bible said, without vision, my people perish. You understand? Okay, without vision, you're going to be stuck in the same place forever. Without vision, you're not going to be able to expand your dreams and actually actualize your goals. You understand? Again, it's got a lot to do with vision. It got to do a lot to do with determination. You understand? These are all these factored with all these factored in. Right now, let's look at why most people get stuck in the traditional 9 to 5 job. You understand? Well, I do the traditional. I've done, and I still do the traditional 9 to 5 job. You understand? Because I'm in a business of education. You understand? I lectured in the university. I have taught in schools and colleges across the UK. You understand? Okay, so let's start by looking at the reasons, because you have to look at why before you look at what to do to move away from that space you stuck in. You understand? So first, let's look at why most people do the traditional 9 to 5 jobs. So working a traditional 9 to 5 job offers several advantages. I'm not going to lie to you. Doing the 9 to 5 job offers. Apologies, I completely forgot to connect my mic to the camera, so I had to stop the video. I had to pause the video to quickly get that done. You understand? Okay, so we're looking at the reasons why most people are stuck in the traditional 9 to 5 jobs. You understand? And like I was saying, I am someone that also in this 9 to 5, traditional 9 to 5 job here in the UK. You understand? So let's really look at some of the reasons. You understand? Working the traditional 9 to 5 jobs actually offers a lot of advantages, a lot of incentives. Yeah, you understand? Particularly around financial stability. You just want to have that peace of mind that at the end of the month, something is coming in through the door. Something is coming in through your bank account. You have that peace of mind at the end of the month. You can afford to pay your bills. You understand? Which is number one reason why people are still stuck in the traditional 9 to 5 job, because you're looking at your income is predictable, is very, very predictable. You know at the end of the month, you've worked for it. You know at the end of the month, at the end of the week, or weekly, or wherever it is that you get paid, you know, that regular income, that paycheck, uh, which allows for better financial planning and managing the expenses. That paycheck is going to come in through the door. You understand? Whether you like it or not, because you've worked for it. You understand? Another reason why people uh, tend to go for the 9 to 5 job, because like we talked about the peace of mind, or talked about the predictable paycheck. Another reason is because of the structured work-life balance. You understand? Right now, I'm talking to you. It's Sunday. You understand? This is Sunday, Sunday morning, and um, obviously you have your weekend to yourself. You got your Saturday, you got your Sunday to yourself. You got a structured hours for easier planning of personal activities and personal commitments here and there. That is another major reason people are stuck in 9 to 5 job, because they want no time to themselves. They want that personal space, that personal time structured hours around their job, around what they do for living. Um, Again, this is something you need to start thinking if you're going to be moving on to creating wealth, wealth creation, and so on and so forth. Again, this is something you have to think um, twice before you make the move. You understand? Again, let's look at another factor why people tend to do the 9 to 5, traditional 9 to 5 job. It offers loads of opportunities for career growth. Right. So there's career progression in your job because you are able to move from one stage to another in terms of your career progression. You understand? Career growth. You understand? So that's another reason. Again, um, these benefits, like I talked about, yeah, right, leads to increased productivity. You understand? Again, because as a structured routine, we can help maintain focus and get it done efficiently. Again, that's not to your advantage; it's to the advantage of your employers. But the part I want to look at, because it reduces stress, because you're used to a structured routine, you're used to a structured routine, which is what you do day in, day out, weekly, monthly, yearly. It reduces stress because of you've got a very, very predictable schedule, you understand, and a very supportive work environment, which leads to your overall well-being. Again, you can see the link right now, you understand. The regular income is linked to uh, your structured routine, again, which now leads to your overall well-being, because you know what you're going to be doing tomorrow. When I go to work tomorrow, Monday morning, I know what I'm going to do on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on. So you have that routine in place, it's structured. Week in, week out, you know what you're doing. You're not stressed out, you understand? It relates to what? Reduce stress, which is another reason most people are talking the 9 to 5, traditional 9 to 5 job. Again, we talked about regular income. Paycheck comes in, you understand? Now, let's look at the free time. Your evenings, your weekends allows you to pursue your personal stuff and family time, your hobbies, your leisure activities, and so on and so forth. That is another major reason people are stuck in 9 to 5 job. But the question is, can you actually create wealth despite disadvantages we talked about uh, for doing the 9 to 5 job? Can you actually create wealth? Can you actually build wealth from your traditional 9 to 5 jobs? Yes, it is possible. You understand? So this next half of the video, I'm going to focus in on how to build wealth while working in 9 to 5 job. Again, I'm going to repeat. This half of the video, I'm going to focus on how to build wealth while focusing or while working in 9 to 5 job. You understand? The answer, the question again, is it possible? Is it doable? Can we do it? Can I do it? Can you do it? Yes, it is doable. You understand? Like I'm going to say to you, the reason I said it's doable, I'm going to be highlighting some of these reasons in a minute. One, it takes a lot of discipline. It's going to take a lot of discipline, self-discipline, for you to actually build wealth from your traditional 9 to 5 job, or while working or while doing your 9 to 5 job. It will take a lot of discipline for you to actually make some extras out of it. You understand? Right, again, it requires a lot of strategic approach, which we're going to be talking about in details in the course of this video. But first, I'd like to look at the vision. You understand? You've got to have the vision of what you want to do before you can achieve it. You understand? It's about the vision. Like the Bible said, my people perish because of lack of vision. You understand? Lack of knowledge, lack of knowledge. Apology, can I just click correct that? People perish because of lack of knowledge. I'm actually going to put a quote in the video so you can say it. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. You understand? It's got to do with knowledge. You got to know what you're doing to achieve what you want to achieve. You understand? So the knowledge is what actually is the nucleus of the things we're going to be saying in this video. You got to have the knowledge, you got to have the vision to actually pursue what you want to do. You understand? So
Number, the key thing you need to do, the key is to create a sustainable income. You got a sustainable income. What do you do with your sustainable income? How do you make the extra? How do you create wealth from your 9 to 5 while working 9 to 5 job? You understand? Well, number one, the rule number one, you've got to make sure that your income exceeds your expenses. You understand? I'm going to repeat this now. Your income must exceed your expenses. So, for example, if I'm getting paid 4,000 a month, 4,000 pounds a month, you understand, and my expenses is 4,500 a month. Well, it's going to be very good for me to actually achieve this goal. You understand? It's going to be honestly, it's not going to be achievable. My income is 4,000 pounds a month. My expenses is 4,500 pounds a month. Then it's unachievable. So I repeat, your income must exceed your expenses. You understand? In order for you to invest the surpluses. You understand? Your income must exceed your expenses in order for you to invest the surplus. You understand? So, in we're talking about the surpluses here. The surpluses we're talking about is the little bit you put aside every month, every week. If you're being paid bi-weekly, you put aside every 2 weeks. If you're being paid monthly, the money you put aside every month at the end of the month, as soon as the paycheck comes in. You understand? So if you're putting the extras aside, the surplus aside, I'm going to be talking a lot about how to manage the surpluses. You understand? So how to actually help you put the surplus aside as well. You understand? So managing your money is very, very important. If you work 9 to 5 and you want to create wealth or build wealth, you're going to be looking at ways to manage your money, effective ways to manage your money. You understand? You've got to track your income, which is very, very essential. As soon as the money comes in, you got to track how it is being spent. You got to track your expenses. You understand? You got to monitor your spending. You got to really, really monitor your spending. Again, you got to identify areas around your expenses where you can cut back on. You understand? There are some things you need to definitely cut back on that are not really essential. You need to cut back on those things. You got to work on reducing unnecessary spending. You understand? Impulse buying, impulse purchases. Well, I'll be the first to cast my stone. I'm not judging anyone here. I've got this habit of buying things on impulse. I've got the habit of buying things. Oh, I like them. I see them. I say, oh gosh, probably need this sometime in the future. Probably need this someday. But I end up buying them. Then I ask myself, I didn't plan to buy this. How come I got them? How come I bought them? So that's a habit you're going to have to work on. You understand? Something I'm seriously working on myself, and I'm really, really working on to make sure I overcome that habit, that very habit I talked about, which is buying on impulse. Purchases made on impulse. You understand? So you got to focus on what you really need. You understand? Like I said, I'll be the first to cast my stone. You understand? Yeah. You got to focus on what you really need, and the essentials. These are things you need that will keep you going, not things that you're just going to put aside and you don't really need. You understand? This is very important to help you prioritize your savings. You understand? To help you maximize the surpluses you put aside at the end of every week, or bi-weekly if you've been paid every 2 weeks, or monthly if you've been paid monthly. This is very important. Again, number two, I'm going to be talking about growing your skills, gaining more experience. You've got to grow your skills. You understand? Which is why I talk about your knowledge. You understand? You've got to grow your skills. You understand? Invest in yourself. Gaining new skills is absolutely important, absolutely essential. You understand? New skills, new certification that is relevant to your industry. So, if you're in the business of, if you're, for example, if you work in an office where there are new skills, let's give example AI, for example. A lot is going on right now a lot has been talked about AI, artificial intelligence. It cuts across all industries. You understand? Even in my profession as well, because I was talking to a friend a couple of weeks ago, and he said to me that he's working on gaining AI um, certification and working on gaining new skills on AI. And I was just wondering, then it dawned on me that gaining this experience could actually enable his promotion, could actually enable um, his income in one way or the other, because it's got this AI skill, it's got this AI certification. Now, this actually is an additional benefit to him, which could, um, when factored in terms of promotion, it will actually be something that actually pushes him to the next level in terms of promotion. You understand? Okay. So again, new certification, new skills, which equates to what? More paycheck. So more paycheck equates to you putting more extras. You got more surpluses to put aside. So more surpluses which leads to more investment. So you're getting more surpluses because you gain new skills, because you've acquired new skills, you've acquired new certification, you're getting more paycheck, which means again, if you're able to, like I said at the start of this video, if you're able to really discipline yourself, you're able to put the extra, the surpluses aside, you're getting more surpluses now because you got more skills, got more pay coming through your bank account every month, at the end of every month, which shows you got more money to put aside. You understand? So you got to start thinking around these things I told you. We've talked about managing your money. We've talked about gaining new skills. We talked about investing. We're now going to talk about investing early. You need to start investing early. The sooner you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. I'm going to repeat, the sooner you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. You understand? Well, I'm not going to discourage anyone if you put your money in the bank in form of savings and so on and so forth. I did, and I regretted it. You understand? For a couple of years, I actually left my money in the bank in the form of savings, and I later found out that what I thought I was getting as as interest in the form of benefit, wasn't actually worth the effort. You understand? And I took the money out. I invested the money into land banking. You understand? So I bought a couple of lands with the money, took the money out, which then uh, the manager actually called me. She said to me, "What's happening? You're making withdrawals from your savings." I said, "Well, I've looked at what I get at the end of every year, which does not really commensurate with what I'm meant to be getting if I had invested the money somewhere else." So I took the money out gradually, started withdrawing the money gradually, and I invested them into buying lands, which is how I started my land banking investment. You understand? So I spoke to um, Williams. Williams. Oh, sorry, I mentioned his name now. Williams is a very, very great guy. He was with Adron Homes, and because I invested in Adron Homes as well. Um, Williams actually advised, and Fisayo. Fisayo, apologies for mentioning your name in this video. Fisayo is now left Adron Homes. I think Williams is also left Adron Homes. These are great people that actually supported me through the pandemic. You understand? Why I was making those investments. You understand? Into buying land. You understand? Across parts of Lagos State and Ogun State. You understand? And I was talking to Williams a couple of months ago. Sorry, Fisayo a couple of months ago. I said to Fisayo, The land I bought in um, one of your estates, which I remember, and I said, how much do you think the land is worth right now? And she said, it's times four of what I paid. I paid 6.5 million for that piece of land. And I'm getting times four of what I paid 4 years later. Honestly, that's a good investment. That's a good investment. Mind you, the money I invested was actually from the extras, the surplus I was putting aside on a monthly basis, which I was putting in my Access Bank accounts on a monthly basis. Again, sorry to mention names of banks here. Again, my account manager wasn't really happy with the decision. Apologies, but I had to. It was tough for me because I had a very good relationship with my account manager, she's still my account manager. A very, very supportive lady, a very supportive woman. She would call weekends, she would call to talk about business, to talk about opportunities for investment, to move my money into a new account because at the higher it's going higher interest rates and so on and so forth. You understand? But I felt what I was getting from the bank wasn't enough. So I took the money out. The reason I'm saying this, I'm sharing this with you, is because you need to start saving. You need to start investing early. The sooner you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. If I had kept that money in Access Bank savings account, like I did prior to my investment in land banking, I wouldn't have gotten what I'm getting right now. You understand? Again, the reason I'm sharing this story with you is just for you to learn from my experience that it is actually possible for you to actually build wealth or create wealth from your traditional while working your traditional 9 to 5 jobs. You understand? A couple of things I'm going to be sharing in this this episode of how to build wealth while working a 9 to 5 job. I will be sharing a couple of experiences with you, a couple of things I learned, a couple of things that actually helped me to invest, a couple of things I did to actually expand my investment. You understand? I will be sharing this with you in the course of this video, but now apologies, I've actually exceeded the time I was meant to spend in this video. I think it's about 20 minutes now. I will be continuing this episode, this series on how to build wealth while working a 9 to 5 job in the next video. Again, I'd just like to say a quick thank you for still watching, standing by, watching till the end. Please like, share, and please leave me comments. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I will actually appreciate if you're going to share your experience with me on your 9 to 5 job and what you've done to create or to build wealth, or what you're doing to build or to create wealth. You understand? Please, again, do not leave without liking a video. Do not leave without subscribing. I would really appreciate if you're helping this channel to grow. Thank you so much for staying till the end of the video, and I want to thank you again. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to thank you so much for coming back again and again to support my channel. Again, if you are just a first time viewer, please, I would really appreciate if you can stay and subscribe, share my video, leave me a comment, and will appreciate you. Have a great Sunday, and if you are planning anything special today, do enjoy it. And,